Can you speak to the memes that we're always seeing about rotary reliability? I know at one point there was issues, but can you speak to rotary reliability in these days?
Don't be afraid of the spicy burrito. So rotary reliability, as soon as you just put that topic out there, it's instantly a hot topic. And I think it's because the rotary has suffered from a lot of negativity through the years. And some of that negativity is really just an unknowing of how to treat the rotary. And I think there's some interesting things, as years have gone, the apex seal has always been like the thing that gets the instant attention. The apex seal failures, there's tons of memes about apex seals and rotary issues. But when I'm out on the Formula Drift circuit, what I've come to realize, and when I am out on any racing circuit that involves a multitude of engines, one thing I noticed is that everybody's working just as hard. There isn't usually one particular engine anywhere that's failing at this point, the year 2021, modern times, just blatantly more than the other. I could even make a stand that in Formula Drift right now, our rotary engine has been more reliable than a lot of the piston motors that are also competing in Formula Drift. But I don't think that's really a case, because everybody's doing their own thing. We're all pushing our own limits, and we're all trying new things. And that's really part of the fun of competition motorsports. But in the end, if we're going to talk about like the memes and whether or not I think rotary engines are extremely reliable, the internet still likes to make fun of them. And I think some of that comes from the original rotary motor, which it doesn't share a lot of things, counterparts to the modern one, or at least if we're talking about the Mazda rotary motor. Like the original Mazda was a fat apex seal, carbon steel motor that, the apex seals didn't last. But you're talking about like the first production motor, and it was very short-lived, and instantly Mazda upgraded to different millimeter thicknesses and different types. And if you look at the whole evolution, we're not going to get into like the whole apex seal story, but your modern 2mm apex seals and everything that's been done from, the 80s up has been quite reliable, as long as people don't overheat them or starve them of fuel. And that's where you get into a tricky thing. It's kind of funny. We live here in America. It's amazing what we've done with the LS motor. And you don't have a rotary guy talking about LS motors very often, but what I will say is America has done a really good job at making it possible to be very, very bad to a V8 motor and have it still run somehow. And that's not a good thing. That's not bonus points for us. But it is astounding how just indestructible and durable they can be. And you look across the board at like 2Js and BMW inlines and Lexus V8s and a lot of your modern motors, rotaries, RBs, they all fall into a category where if you overheat them, you're going to suffer some kind of damage. If you run too much timing and you cause some type of detonation or lack of fuel, air fuel mixture is wrong, you cause some type of detonation, you're probably going to have some type of damage. You starve them for oil, you're probably going to have some type of damage. So in a way, I think that, there's a ton of motors in the industry that have very similar fail points. And albeit your original apex seals definitely were a fail point, your modern apex seals, your aftermarket support has done a lot to resolve that. There's so many things that are better. And in the same way that, a lot of other motors in the industry and your original 350 motors, all were subject to some type of fail point. I think we could make fun of almost any motor if we really want to. It's been interesting now to see how that meme and that like targeted, hey, the rotary's always broken has actually turned into a point in time now where we have so many rotaries in drag racing. They're allowing them back into series like Le Mans. And you have so many classes here in the US with SCCA or time attack drifting where you see them being successful. And in Japan where they've been a long time successful. But I think, it's cool. That's kind of the fun. Like, everybody likes to make fun of the rotary, but the reality is the rotaries are kicking butt. They're out there revving high. They're the smallest displacement motor out there most of the time. And we're out there running right there with V8s and inlines, RBs and 2Js, and I love them. That's one of the reasons I fell in love with the rotary is I can out-rev most people, and I'll let everybody think they're not reliable because while they're rebuilding their piston motor, I'm just doing basic maintenance on my rotors.